Doing a sea review for Yomikachi. Says he had trouble on
Battle
Beach Sea.
started.
We'll have a look and see how it went. Says he had trouble with early production and economy, which is pretty normal for sea. Broken Court is a reasonably strong sea player, so expect to have problems. So one of the things I would say, go wind. So 2 mechs, 1 windmill, get your last mechs. Solar is too expensive. Wind on this map is really good. You're metal starved like crazy as sea, so you never want to spend any more metal than you have to. After this mix, you go another 4 wind. Energy storage also not needed. Get a con and a res bot from this guy. Just give him a couple hundred metal for it. You definitely don't want to make energy storage if the wind is completely dropped as well. Start harder energy stalling, that'll turn your mexes off. Realised, but going into the solar. Is not the play. Give way to wind. Sure. What did you ask for? Resin con, scout trans, fair enough. Yep, that's all good. I prefer heavy trans as beach, because I like to fly the commander to the island, secure it, or fly to the cove. It gives you so much, what's the word? Variety, kind of? Options. Gives you way more options. It's giving you a scout. You do go to the island. So, normally what I would do is fly up here, fly down here. You want to see who this guy is. You want to see what they're doing. Other thing, I wouldn't open boats. That's part of the reason for sending your scout up here first, is that it tells you what you need to make. The first thing I would do pretty much always is make 1 combo. Unless you're doing a very specific rush. People used to rush 2 skaters out to here to try and snipe transports. Unless you're doing that, you just want to open with Constructor, because there's no way he can get a lab up there in time. Unless he's doing a cheese play. I know he said he was trying to zone him out of the... Yomikachi in his description said he was trying to zone the guy out of the sea. Just being a bit slow paying, but it's fine. So, right now you should have these 2 mexes, and a constructor going to this mex. Or at least have one of these mexes with the constructor you built. This will be a part of why you're behind. You end up behind. His build is also not great, but this is yeah. Oh no, it's idle. The very first thing this con should be doing is getting mexes. You just leave the metal on the ground until the Lazarus arrives. This Lazarus comes and gets all this metal and eats the trees. There's no reason for it to eat trees because you've got full energy storage. Flying to the island is fine. But this is your problem. These mexes being untaken for like a minute and a half after you built your lab. Later than they should be. is very much a mistake. You also don't know that he's taking this yet. Scout should be put him on a repeat command, flying between here and here is what I normally do. Repeat, click, 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 and then leave it. Yeah, you've got no scouting, no information on where he is. So these boats, they aren't even doing what you wanted to do with them. If they were here, you could deny this lab. But because you haven't scouted, you don't know he's there. 2 dolphins could kill this and prevent him from getting in the sea. So if you want to rush that kind of thing and prevent it, you have to commit to it and you have to be in there. As it is, he gets his lab for free and you made your own eco worse. So another important thing about sea is con turrets. Generally, you don't need them for a long time. At plus 14 metal per second, your lab is using up plus 15 metal per second, minus 15. On its own, it doesn't need the con turret at all. You're using up all of your metal just using the lab. So having extra build power doesn't do anything. At most, I would have 1 con boat assisting it. You still don't have this mechs. So you're way, way down on where you should be on metal. So at this point in the game, you should be about 400 ahead of your opponent. And you're 600 behind. I'm drawing circles and you can't see. He's 600 ahead of you. He's eaten his lab, which generally puts him at about parity. But you should be 200 to 300 ahead at minimum, because you should expand your mechs much quicker. So now he just makes more boats. You let him get his lab up, so now he's made some submarines. And you're in a really bad spot from here. If you have a commander and he's not, the mechs is our priority over everything. This mech's not taken. This mech's not taken is 10% of your income, more. It's very not good. Please. He's overextending. It's a free boat kill. You can send this boy to go and eat it. He doesn't need to be here. You can just go and eat this. Another thing, scaling on titles generally not great. This is the reason I don't like flying a conbot to the island. Is that I want that conbot back here, making a con turret and making wind. Because wind is so much better than titles. That's why I prefer getting a heavy trans. You have a destroyer. A destroyer can come back and deal with this. You have 2 con boats. The moment you see this, you can drop a torpedo launcher. And you would have been fine. You're way overextended with half your boats at home. If you're dealing with something at home, like you have these boats safe back here at the furthest, because now he just gets to eat these for free. which is very obviously very not good. I would almost never res boats. It's generally not worth it, unless you have a lot of res subs. I'll just eat it and make a new one. So at this point you just want to be moving this direction. He's you're already caught in a bad spot. Your boats are facing towards him. 3 of your destroyers facing towards him is really not good. And then not moving away. You're going to end up taking a decent fight because he way overextended. The advantage he gained earlier hasn't quite come into fruition yet, but won't be sufficient. So your metal stalling means there's no point in trying to res boats. You've got loads of build power on your lab. You can put more build power on your lab. You've got plenty of energy. Put all of this build power here and eat all these boats and turn them into more boats really quickly. You could have turned this game here. You're in a bad spot, but probably not, because he's on 4 T2 mexes and you're on 2. But it would have helped. Yeah, 1 res sub will take forever to res these. It's what, 2-3% a second? That's going to take you a very long time. And it costs you a bunch of your energy. If you were eating these, you'd have them all gone in like 2 minutes, and you could turn them into boats. Resing is quite slow generally. It's even worse when you're making more res subs to try and res faster, because he's making boats instead. If you have res subs before the fight, that's fine. But trying to make res subs to res things when you've barely won a big fight on your side of the map is not going to go well. Because he's just going to make more boats and just send them, and then he gets the reclaim. You end up taking a very good fight here because he was focusing on the one you were repairing. But if you could have had twice this number of destroyers here, and you'd have just slaughtered everything he had. Unless you already have a mass of res subs, don't res things, basically. You can prepare for resing, for trying to do that kind of snowball. But this is going to take you forever. It costs 50 energy for each one, so you can only manage to have like 5 working. Well, technically 12, but that would be using literally all of your energy, and so you wouldn't be making anything else. This boy should fly over to the island, get these mexes upgraded. Doing anything else is just a waste. And yeah, he's just going to keep pumping boats because he's significantly ahead of you in metal per second. At this point, it's very much over. You just want to run your commander away, self-destruct everything in the sea. Trying to make anything more is just going to feed him. And what you can try and do in that kind of situation is go and hide some constructors over here or something, and build a sneaky lab. But you don't want to don't commit to a fight that you've already lost, because then he gets all that metal. And you see, he's just eating it. There's like 10,000, 10,000-ish metal. He's gonna just pick up off the floor. You want to avoid giving any reclaim at all. You can avoid it. This is the other reason titles are a problem. Don't mess the title. It's just the other reason titles are a problem is because if you die, you just lose them all. Unfortunately, Reverie is a strong player. Killing boys. If you are energy stalling, don't make advanced solars. They cost 5,000 energy. If you don't have any energy, then you're just making it even worse. Make basic solars, make winds. Winds on this map are excellent. Making advanced solars is nearly always a mistake on this map. This is a problem for you, but your team is sufficiently far ahead, they're probably just going to win the game anyway. I'll take my sneeze. Sorry. Team is responding, it's nice. A little bit slow, but they are responding. The problem will be dealt with. Yeah, don't build advanced solars. Please. So the takeaways from this: prioritize getting these mexes. If you aren't prioritizing getting these mexes, you have to make absolutely certain he doesn't get his lab up. That means you have to scout it, you have to have your boats there, ready and waiting. You have to delay him as much as possible. I would always get at least one con. You can make 2 boats and then get a con, at most, basically. That can be 2 dolphins or 2 skaters or whatever. But after that, you get a con, and you build these. I opened 2 cons. My first con goes here, makes a radar, goes and up. Second one comes over here, makes this mex, comes back and boosts the lab. You don't need to build a con turret, you don't need to build any titles, anything like that. Your commander can fly over to here using the heavy transport, secures this nearly guaranteed. Unless they also con walk, you're going to get this. I just take the mex, build like 2 or 3 LLTs and then just spam wind. The con you get from this guy is then free to come down here, make some wind, make a nano, make some more wind. That means that when your T2 con arrives, you can get these mexes up really fast. Yeah. I think there's not much more to get from the game. So I hope this helps, and good luck in the future.